I thought Karl Anthony Towns dropping 60 points was impressive, but then it turns out the day after that Kyrie Irving dropped 60 points, mind you, this is 2 days after the fact that Kyrie Irving got in trouble because he went in the locker room after the Knicks game. It was a very confusing situation. I will definitely talk about the 60-point game. I feel like I have to. That's kind of what most of this video is kind of about. However, I think we need to talk about Kyrie Irving and what his city is doing to him, because at this point, it's just annoying. Of course, before I get into the content, you guys can leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new with notifications on. I'm trying to hit 100k by the end of the year. And number two, I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Spex. I try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and I would love to see you there. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. First thing I want to say is, when did we inevitably decide that we were just gonna have players drop 50 to 60 points on an average night? I mean, yeah, in the last video I said, you know, it really does feel like every other night a player's dropping 50 points. Well, that's because it is going on. What's crazier is I know these players could have gotten more points because Kyrie Irving wasn't gonna foul out. They just sat him for the rest of the game, I guess due to injury. And not that he's injured, I'm saying so he doesn't get injured, if that makes sense. I mean, Cat almost fouled out, so you know what? I understand why he didn't drop more than 60, but Kyrie probably could have went for 70. And it was also versus the Orlando Magic, so you know he probably could have went for like 80. What's so crazy to me is that yes, the Brooklyn Nets are not the best team right now, honestly. With losing James Harden, that definitely made them worse, but I think we need to look at something. When Kyrie Irving is playing, and I know as a joke we call him part-time Kyrie, but when he's playing in those away games, he is so damn good. He is one of the most talented NBA players of all time, and I know he didn't make the NBA 75, but we all know that's bullshit. I know the reason why he didn't make it, and I think a lot of you guys know why he didn't make it. It's complete bullshit, but yet it's just the way the world works, unfortunately. And because of his decision to not get the vaccination, Kyrie Irving has not been able to play in home games, which is why people call him part-time Kyrie. And I think a lot of people, including Nets fans, were just hoping that if they were gonna let Kyrie Irving play, they were just gonna inevitably switch the rule. Because at the beginning of the season, the Nets were like, no, you're not gonna play for us unless you get the vaccine, and Kyrie didn't play for a majority of the season up until the Nets said, hey, we need your help. This was at the point in time where it seemed like every NBA team had at least one or more Rona cases, and every team had to like get a bunch of G League and old ass vets on their team. It was a very wild time for the NBA, and they never said Kyrie couldn't play afterwards, so he just became part-time Kyrie, which is a very scary player. But now we're at the point where we can start to realize that when Kyrie Irving is playing, the Brooklyn Nets are an amazing team. However, this is definitely going to affect them in the playoffs. I don't know how many of you guys remember, but a while back they had the state elections and all these other things. I'm not really into politics, and a lot of you guys probably aren't, but apparently New York either got a new mayor or the one they already had was re-elected. Again, I don't remember. I don't know a single thing about politics, but essentially this mayor was not going to let Kyrie Irving play, and he stood by the rule, and a lot of people got mad. At first, people were mad about it, but they didn't really think too much of it because it was like, okay, Kyrie Irving will play in the away games, he'll miss the home games, but we can get used to the system. And mind you, a lot of mandate changes have been going on, a lot of rules have been lifted in certain areas, so maybe there was the possibility, hey, maybe Kyrie Irving will be able to go full time. Well, things got very interesting the other day when Kyrie Irving decided that he was gonna buy home court seats to go to the Knicks game, which was obviously at the Barclays Center, so he was gonna be in the Nets home arena, but he wasn't playing. Mind you, he had courtside seats, so he's probably like, what, 3 feet away from the court, if that? So I don't even know why you guys allowed him to buy courtside seats because of the rule that you made. But then Kyrie Irving goes on the court, he daps up some of his friends, you know, players on the team and stuff like that, which again, they say nothing about, they're okay with it. Again, I'm very much confused because he can't play with them. That's the only rule. It's not he can't go to a game, he can't even be in the arena. However, the only reason why he was even fined is because he went into the locker room. Now I understand why he went to the locker room, and I also understand why they fined him. However, if you're gonna fine him for going on the locker room, why didn't you fine him for, you know, buying courtside seats and making you guys look like a dumbass? Why didn't you fine him for dapping up players on the court and being close to everyone? You fined him for going in the locker room. So yeah, Kyrie Irving literally is being sabotaged by his own city, not other cities and their rules, no, his own city, and the mayor of New York has continued continue to say he's not going to switch the rule. Well, Ted Cruz, who I believe works in Texas specifically, actually talked about the situation, and this is what he had to say.
NBA just fined Kyrie Irving $50,000 because their rules, the rules in New York City, here's how idiotic it is. Kyrie Irving could go to a game, could sit in the stands not being vaccinated, which he did. That was perfectly okay. But if he actually plays, that's not permissible. Touching a basketball makes you a lethal threat. They fined Kyrie Irving because he dared to go to the locker room. Mind you, he's sitting in the damn stands watching the game. He could go talk to the players at the game, which he did. But when he went to the locker room, $50,000. This is asinine, dishonest theater. Let Kyrie play.
Now, like I said it before, I know not much about politics, and I don't exactly know y'all's stance on Ted Cruz, but he does make good points. If you're gonna fine him for going to the game, fine him for talking to the players and being up close. Instead, you fine him for what? Going to his own damn locker room? Make that make sense. And after this, he would actually mention a proposal that, again, a lot of people were talking about.
By the way, if Brooklyn won't let Kyrie play, I'm going to make a pitch to you directly. Kyrie, come to Houston, play for the Rockets. We'll let you play. It's a hell of a player. Uncle Drew's being benched.
I'll say this right now. From a basketball standpoint, I don't exactly know if Kyrie Irving could play on the Houston Rockets. I don't know if Ted Cruz was being serious or if he was trying to actually make a point. And I'm not saying Kyrie's going to go to Houston. And obviously, he could go to literally any other team. And I'm sure the mandates would be fine and he'd be able to play full time. But am I the only one that finds it kind of weird that your own team, your own city essentially, is trying to not let you play? They're starting it. It's not other cities, it's not the NBA. The city of New York has the opportunity to make it right. You very well have the opportunity to say, hey, let's let's work on these mandates. And again, I don't know a lot about politics. I know there's politics with these mandates. I fully understand that. However, I don't think Kyrie Irving should be allowed to do all the other things he did at that game and not be able to go to the locker room. If he can't go to the locker room, then don't let him go and sit in a courtside game. Don't let him hang out with the players and all the other things. You're essentially nitpicking at what Kyrie Irving can do, and it's honestly ridiculous to me. And when we look at the fact that Kyrie Irving had this 60-point game and not too long ago had a 53-point game, it just shows us that when Kyrie Irving is playing, he could be a damn good player for the Brooklyn Nets, and if they would just switch some rules, he'd be fine. Then again, and I'm gonna have to say this the millionth time because I know some people are gonna try to come for my neck or something. I don't know about politics. I don't know exactly what the exact mandates are and what they're gonna try to make the rule change, but god damn it, how is your own city gonna sabotage your NBA career and what's going on with your own team? How is it gonna be your own city? Why not the NBA? Let's blame the NBA, because at least we can justify as, oh, F the NBA, they're just trying to, hate on Kyrie. They don't want to see him win. No, it's your own city. Imagine what Kyrie Irving could be doing if he was a full-time player, but because of his own city, that's not gonna happen.